or at a CB&S bank office near you. All loans subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Join us tonight for Head Coach and the Nick Saban Show, live from Baumhauer's Victory Grill at 6:30 p.m. Central. Eli Gold hosts, and tonight he'll cover the latest Alabama news, plus visit with Head Coach Nick Saban. Head Coach and the Nick Saban Show is available to listen to across the network. We'll be streamed live on our Facebook page, and will also be available on demand on our Alabama Insider podcast. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by CB&S Bank. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Touchdown. That championship trophy is headed back to Tuscaloosa. Now 15 dominating with this defense. Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? You saw the Gatorade shower this time. I love it. Cover's wide open. Tide rolling again. Alabama again, the champions of college football. The roots are kicked out and will not be caught. Touchdown, great. Alabama back on top. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins. The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Devontae Smith cannot be stopped. Saban with his 7th national championship. National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
I think the most important thing we keep trying to emphasize with the players, which they have done a pretty good job of, is, responding the right way to try to improve and do things in a way that's going to help them create value for themselves and help them create value for the team. If you don't create any value for Alabama, you don't create any value for yourself. So everybody's got to focus on finishing. And I think it's a cue every day. When you practice, you get tired, you get lots of reps. That when you start to get that way, that's a cue for you to finish. And, you got to finish plays, you got to finish games. We certainly didn't finish the last game. The last 5 minutes of the game was not what we needed it to be. So that's something that we have to continue to work on. Playing at Mississippi State, every game we've ever had over there has been really, really difficult. Their team is playing really well, so this is going to be a real challenge for us, and we're going to have to bring our A game, play our best against a lot of really good players on both sides of the ball. So it's always a difficult place to play with the cowbells and all that, but we've been into a couple difficult circumstances so far this year, so hopefully we can continue to improve how we manage that.
right, welcome in. It is the Thursday edition. Hard to believe, man, this week has flown by, and we've got a lot going on today as far as we got Chris Walsh down Tuscaloosa at our flagship station, 100.9, tied at 100.9 FM, and also Lars joining us again from Lincoln, Nebraska. In studio, Matt Coulter. I'm Jay Barker, the Jay Barker Show, presented by and brought to you by, and as far as Top Golf in Birmingham, what a great place to go out with you and your family, co-workers, Mark Grenier, all the great folks there at Top Golf. Man, they do a terrific job, and not only the food, the drinks, the fun, and just a lot of great venue for a lot of different functions. Great tailgate place for UAB games, as we've seen over the last 2 home games, as well there at Top Golf in Birmingham. Also driven by Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street. Just talked to Tony Russell a few minutes ago. Go by and see him and all the great folks there at Sunny King Ford. All right, Matt Coulter, how you doing today?
Everything's great. I'm with you, though. It seems like Tuesday. I mean, it's Thursday. I mean, I don't even feel like we've talked much about Alabama, Mississippi State because we're going back. Same with Auburn's game with my little piggies.
All right, joining us on BamaInsider.com as well as we go live stream from noon to 2 o'clock each and every day. You can give us the thumbs up and also hit the like button, the follow button, subscribe button as well. And we're going to welcome in Chris Walsh from Tide 100.9 FM, BamaCentral.com, and also Lars Anderson again be joining us from Nebraska. But Chris, how are you today? Happy Thursday.
I'm good. I hope you guys are doing well as well. It's I keep looking at the weather forecast and I keep looking at what it's going to be in the next couple of days, and I can't wait. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for some cooler weather.
Yeah, me too.
Lars, how are you, my man? How's Lincoln, Nebraska today?
It is beautiful. It is it's like in the mid 60s and no humidity. And I'm telling my friends here in Nebraska that, man, I can't remember the last time being in Alabama where I didn't feel any humidity. So it's always good to be back in the Midwest. And Chris, I know you spent a good chunk of your life in the Midwest, but Chris, what has it been like for you these last few days? It's been so long since Alabama's lost. How's it been just sort of covering the defeat? And what has just been the reaction you've seen from players and coaches, and how do you think they're going to respond this week against Mississippi State?
You know, it's so funny because, like you mentioned, we have to deal with losses so so rarely, I guess would be like the proper way to put it, that you actually have one in a regular season, and it's something that's completely different. I can't help but almost laugh in a way, just because it's so out of the norm. You know, it's so different from what every other program experiences and every other team. It's the tricky part, honestly, is it's not really covering the team or covering the coach, because Saban's going to deliver his message. He's going to do whatever it takes to get the team going. You're going to hear, kind of resonate from the players on down. And, we've been seeing that all this week. It's with the fans. It's much trickier. And seeing some of the overreactions to, anything and everything from the game, from, Saban on down, is just, whoa. It's still a lot of talent on this team, still really young. We talked about it for months, how it's going to take time for things really to kind of come together. And Alabama had the toughest part of its schedule in the first half of the season. And now we're going to see how well they adapt, how well they grow, and hopefully see this team come together even more over the second half of the season.
Yeah, it's been amazing, Matt, just looking at, with the same kind of statements, creating value for yourself, the way that you work, the things you do. We've heard these comments or these quotes for years now. He sticks to his guns. He sticks to repetition, the things he preaches day in and day out, week in and week out, and doing it again yesterday in the presser we just heard from Coach Saban.
I think you're going to see what we all expect, a totally different, more disciplined, better tackling, better blocking team than we've seen all year out of the University of Alabama. Chris, that's Nick Saban's mantra, isn't it? I mean, he's gone through this, as you said, rarely, but when it does happen, it's a wake-up call from Hades.
Well, and the thing was, he was trying to get this team to kind of wake up earlier this season. You know, he brought back rat poison right off the bat. And I mean, that should have been like giant neon sign equivalent of these guys need to get it together. They got to do better. And you know, look, we're talking about, you know, a bunch of guys who are between the ages of 19 and 22. Sometimes you got to learn a little bit the hard way, and that could be the case here. It was funny though, watching that game last week. I kept thinking about the South Carolina game, you know, in 2010. I was like, this is very, very similar. And I was really glad after the game when Saban kind of mentioned it, you know, and I was like, yeah, I mean, that's it right there. That team did not bounce back, and we know what will happen if this team doesn't. But, you know, looking at their schedule, I'm going to be shocked if they have another tight game the rest of the regular season.
Yeah.
I agree. And go ahead, Lars.
I was just going to say, you know, we talked to Trent Richardson so much about that 2010 team and losing to South Carolina. And, you know, Trent said that frankly, they were more talented than the 2009 team. But Jay, you lost so infrequently when you were playing and starting quarterback. What is your recollection of how you guys responded? Like, were practices more focused? Was there more intensity? What was the reaction to the losses when they did occur?
Yeah, I tell you, and Coach Saban's like this to a lot of coaches. The coaches sometimes are less on you as much. They're trying now to build kind of the confidence back. And, you know, for instance, they gave the players Sunday off. I'm sure there was a lot of discussion amongst the coaches on that Sunday and Coach Saban. But, you know, you look at it from, you know, do you want to come down on guys? Or the things that you can improve on? You try to find, because the eye in the sky, whether you play a great game and win by 50 points or if you lose by, it never is what you think it is. It's never as bad as you thought it was. It's never as good as you thought it was. And you're going to find some good and bad in all of it. And you try to go back and correct those things and just get better and be productive in the work week. You have to get past the win or the loss and move on to the next. And I think that as we've seen throughout Coach Saban's, not in Alabama, but LSU, other places, he does a really good job, Matt, of really, you know, keeping those guys focused in on the job ahead.
Listening to you and Antonio yesterday, and you're talking about how differently you coach kids in 2021, even going back to Saban's first year. Chris, that's a question to you. Has Nick, you know, used to, you grab a guy by the face mask and you really didn't care anything about his feelings. Now, what Antonio and Jay were talking about, now these days, a lot of these kids are so entitled, you can't do that or you'll lose them. Is that the way you see it too?
Well, it's funny that you kind of brought this up so early in the show, because I was going to bring it up later. There's another factor with all this year, and that's name, image, and likeness. You know, I mean, how many opportunities these guys just lose because of what just happened at Texas A&M, and that, strangely enough, might be the biggest wake-up call at all, which is something that none of the other teams had to deal with before. I don't know if it is different. I don't know what the right term is. You know, it's just, there is something that's a little bit different with each generation. And, you know, it's my wife and I talk about this all the time because, you know, like the website that I run, we've got guys in different generations. And I mean, granted, you have to deal with each person a little bit differently as it is, but it really, it's very different from each generation. And you kind of have to go through, I mean, it's like 5 years difference, you know, or even less. It's just, you know, with the classes that are coming through at the university, they're very different. And it's just really, I don't know how the heck Saban does it, to be honest. It's just the way that he's got to adjust constantly in so many different ways and still get through to these guys. And part of it of him is always going to be a little bit old school. And I personally, I applaud that, because I think you got to have that part of it. But it's just mind-boggling to me that he's still able to be so successful year in and year out.
Yeah, just able to connect generation after generation. It is really amazing. All right, again, Lars out in Lincoln, Nebraska, Matt Coulter in studio, Chris Walsh with BamaCentral.com. Down in Tuscaloosa, our flagship station, Tide 100.9 FM. Fully promoted. Do you struggle with finding new ideas for branding and marketing your business? Is your organization trying to find unique items that people really like to receive and use? In today's competitive business environment, your brand needs to stand out to get noticed. Fully Promoted offers extensive branding and marketing solutions to get your name in front of your potential customers. They have local experts that specialize in putting your logo on apparel, team gear, caps, promotional products, trade show items, and printed materials as well. They provide access to samples that you can actually touch and feel, and personalized service to assist you with product selection and decoration methods, taking your brand to the next level. Call Fully Promoted today at 205-406-6430. Mention that you heard this ad on the Jay Barker Show for that special discount and that special offer, 205-406-6430. Are you fully promoted? All right, stay with us. We're live from AVX. Hour number 1 continues. The Jay Barker Show with Lars Anderson and all of our other cast of characters here today as well. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide football.
Alabama touchdown.
Only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WIN.
Don't miss USA's new shoppable live competition series. Entrepreneurs pitch new products that you can buy live. And whoever sells the most gets a chance at a life-changing deal with one of America's biggest retail giants. Shop live and decide whose dreams come true on America's Big Deal, a shoppable live competition series. Live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on USA Network.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code TOOL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TOOL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TOOL.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
To remind pet owners that Progressive covers pets on our auto policy at no extra charge, we decided to make a really cute pet-themed radio commercial. Can you hear that, puppy? If you could see this, you would melt. I mean, just the softest fur. Oh, wait, he's trying to open this box now. And Oh, the box is filled with kittens. If only there was some way you could see this. What a glaring oversight.
Get coverage for your pets with an auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very warm afternoon. The sky partly to mostly sunny. The high today in the upper 80s at 88. For tonight, mostly fair with the low at 64. Tomorrow, partially sunny and warm during the day, then a chance of rain showers tomorrow night, the high at 87. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 80 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I think it starts with, your mindset. You're going to do what you feel like doing, or you're going to choose to do the things you need to do to push through difficult circumstances and difficult times and stay focused. And when you do that, then you develop a greater capacity to do it. So it starts out mindset, but then you become physically more able and capable to sustain, because you've had the mental toughness to push yourself to the next level. I mean, it's like blowing up a balloon. The first time you blow it up, it's really, really tough. Then you let the air out of it. It blows up to that point pretty easily. But then when you try to take it beyond that, it gets very difficult again. So it's the same thing with how you sustain, how you focus, how you finish. You develop a greater capacity to do it. So then it becomes easier. But when you get into it, it never becomes easier. And then when you have to do it, it's very difficult to sort of be able to get done. Well, I certainly think that we need leadership. I think every organization needs leadership. I need people to set a good example, need people to care enough to serve others, to help them set a good example, so that you get a critical mass of people that are all, buying into the same principles and values and the same standard. As much as I can talk about it as a coach, I think it always gets reinforced to a great degree if you have peer intervention, where you have, your peers are, constantly preaching that same message and holding people to the same standard. So, that's something that we want to continue to develop. And I think something that will help this team continue to develop.
All right, welcome back in. And again, Alabama, Mississippi State coming up this weekend, and a lot to get to that. Also, UAB Southern Miss their game coming up on Saturday. But I wanted to, you brought this up in the break, and I want to kind of talk about this amongst everybody. And I'm sure you guys have seen it, and all of you guys being in the media and have been journalists and been around this for a long time, been a TV, Matt, and dealing with practices, how you handle it, how do you deal with the coaches, how do you make sure information is not put out there and the coaches say, hey, off the record, you don't talk about it, or they don't want to tell who their quarterback is going to be as far as starting quarterback when it comes to their game against TCU. Lincoln Riley's still saying mum's the word when it comes to the quarterback. But, Matt, there was a tweet that went out earlier and talking about a situation that happened that Lincoln Riley found about it, and now he's making others pay for it that probably should be paid for it.
And actually, this kid was just very ambitious. I just sent Lars the story. He probably has already seen it, and it said next stop Sports Illustrated. Anyway, long story, cool story if you're a media guy. This guy was a writer, and I'll get his name here in a minute. He's a writer for the campus newspaper in Alabama. It's the Crimson and White. So he gets up on a building several blocks away with binoculars and starts watching practice. Of course, I imagine OU is a lot like Alabama. You get the first 15 minutes. You can, as we see, you can see him hitting sleds, calisthenics, that kind of stuff. But that's it. Anyway, he figures out that Caleb Williams is now getting more reps with the first team than is Spencer Rattler. So he follows up. He talked to his dad, Spencer Rattler's dad, Caleb Williams, and did a phenomenal story. Well,
Lincoln didn't like that.
Lincoln did not like that very much. And now, very unexpectedly yesterday, he cut the media off at their knees. Not just the student newspaper reporter, but all media outlets have been totally restricted. Whether he carries that through the end of the week, we don't know. But first of all, all of you guys been in the business, particularly Chris, Lars, who have been on that side of it a lot longer than you and I have.
Yeah.
But first of all, am I wrong in giving this kid kudos, Lars?
No, not at all. I mean,
Exactly.
Hey, intrepid reporter, and he got a great scoop. And I mean, Chris, I just want to say, give me a MF break, Lincoln Riley. Get over yourself. It's not like, hiding a nuclear code or something. It's just who's getting more rest with the first team. And I get it. Spencer Rattler, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the transfer portal. I seriously wouldn't. I mean, we were talking about him being the number 1 overall pick just 3 weeks ago. And now he's not even going to probably be the starting quarterback at Oklahoma. But that is because he's played like, he hasn't played well. I'll just put it that way. But I can't stand it. I can't stand it when coaches just think that it is so important and they have to guard these state secrets with, so much intensity. Now he makes it impossible for the Daily Oklahoman and people who cover Oklahoma, like a Barry Trammell, who's a columnist out there, and others who I'm friends with out there. Jason Kersey, who we've had on our show for The Athletic. Now he can't do his job. Like, it blows me away. It just blows me away. And I think Lincoln Riley is way out of line. But coaches have just been emboldened because they believe that they have so much power. And I really don't think if a similar situation happened at the Crimson White that Nick Saban and the whole sports information department would do the same thing. But Chris, your take and your analysis.
And Chris, on top of that, Chris, I want to get your thoughts on as well as what Lars said. But is this just an excuse? I mean, they all don't really want the media there, right?
He didn't want to answer the question,
right? So that now he can just say, okay, well, this gives me an excuse to ban the media, which shouldn't be done. But okay, give your thoughts about it.
I can tell you flat out, if somebody did that at Alabama, that they would absolutely freak out. Positively, they would go nuts.
I agree with that.
First off, for the student who did this, I'll bet there was about 50 to 100 sports editors around the country going, I don't have any openings, but when I do, I want to hire that kid.
Yeah.
So, for him, he definitely probably just, he pulled one off that got everyone's attention. I don't know how to react to this, to be honest. And it's the thing that I go back to, and it's something that I've been struggling with a lot because honestly, it's okay. Yeah, I'm a sports writer, but I'm becoming more of a sports editor, a person who oversees a department of people, each and every day. And so these are the kind of things that I have to question myself. But it's when I was coming up, and part of this had to do with the fact that I did high school football first, and then I started doing the NFL, and I also did Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball, you are in that locker room every single day, and you build up relationships with people every single day. And probably my biggest problem with football today, especially, is that they are shielding everybody away from the media more and more. And it's just ridiculous. And it's tougher to get interviews. It's tougher to get people to talk. You can't build those relationships like you used to. And so when you have something that becomes a problem, it's so much harder to try to navigate the waters. I mean, we had a controversial story last year. I'm not even going to mention which one it was. And I had people calling me and screaming at me. And I kept going back to one thing. It was like, what's wrong in the story? And there wasn't anything wrong. Not with the reporting. They were saying, well, we don't, this part here, we don't think it's true.
Chris,
It's like, okay.
Chris, let me just, I don't mean to interrupt, but that is what I've always said. Tell me if a PR person or an athlete calls me and says, and they're upset about a story, first thing I say, what is factually inaccurate? And if there's nothing factually inaccurate, then it's the end of the conversation. Mm-hmm. And this kid didn't do anything. And Lincoln Riley's not saying that this was inaccurate, but now, again, he's punishing everyone else. And I just think it's such a vast overreaction, Chris.
Yeah. And when you say punish, Lars, here's my biggest issue is they're punishing their fans, basically.
Yeah,
because they don't get the information. Yeah. They don't get, the feature, how these guys can make $8 million a year and not see the big picture just baffles me.
Yeah, and again, I think it could just be an excuse that now he can ban it.
So kill the messenger.
Yeah, the messenger actually might get an NIL deal, right? Binoculars, telescope.
Here, let me give these guys credit. Mason Young and Austin Curtright write for the OU Daily, the campus newspaper, and evidently there were people that knew they were up there. Yeah,
Chris, you need to get
call
their
Chris Walsh immediately. But,
well, and I get it from Lincoln Riley's standpoint, guys. I mean, I understand from the football standpoint, you don't want you want them working for both guys because the more time they got to spend on both, the less time they spend on one, and so that's the reason why you want to keep it hidden. But you got to keep it hidden, and if you can't
work out indoors,
yeah, you got to have a Gerald just like, hey, watch that cloud or whatever the Coach Stallings used to do on our practices. Man, he was looking for everything possible that might end up being a spy plane or anything like that. All right, we'll take a quick break. Again, Chris Walsh, BamaCentral.com is down in Tuscaloosa, Tide 100.9 FM. Matt Coulter in studio. Lars still out in Lincoln, Nebraska. He'll be back with us tomorrow in studio, I think. He'll make it back. I know he's got an early flight, so we'll see how all that goes. But small, medium-sized business owners out there, are you aware that there are additional government stimulus dollars that are available to your business outside of the PPP loan? If you had employees, retain them during the COVID-19 pandemic, there's up to $33,000 cash refund per employee. That's $33,000 cash refund per employee available to you no matter if you had a financial loss or gain. And for over 23 years, the tax attorneys and CPAs at E-Tax Breaks, they've been identifying the tax credits and cash refunds available to businesses through more than 3,000 federal and state programs. They can do the same for you. They've recovered over $2 billion to date, and they can serve you nationwide as well. So check it out. I mean, they work off what's called success fees. There's no financial risk to you ever. You pay nothing unless they find the credits or refunds for your business, and 90% of small businesses out there actually qualify for this or are eligible. So take a few minutes, reach out, see if these guys can help you, and if your business qualifies. Go to etaxbreaks.com, etaxbreaks.com, or simply call them at 855-659-1231. That's 855-659-1231 for etaxbreaks.com. All right, stay with us. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
Following this summer's Tokyo Olympic Games, the eyes of the world will turn to Birmingham, Alabama, and the World Games 2022. Next July, the world will come together for the South's largest international sporting event since the 96 Centennial Olympic Games. 3,600 athletes will compete for gold in 34 sports, including lacrosse, softball, gymnastics, flag football, and more. Tickets are on sale now. Buy yours at twg2022.com.
Rock and Roll Sushi, they're proud to be the original American-style sushi restaurant founded on great food and rock and roll music, boasting concepts and flavors, big, bold, and loud. They're the only place to experience the rock you love, the rolls you love, with the ones you love. It all began back in Mobile, Alabama, and then a decade later, tucked inside the Mobile Mall, expanded to encompass more than 40 locations across the southeastern U.S. Since day one, the most rewarding part of their work has been seeing guests fall in love with the amplified dining experience and become fans who return again and again to the biggest hit in town. That's Rock and Roll Sushi. Get out today for lunch or dinner.
It's Schaefer Schaefer Plastic Surgery, knowing they treat you like family, you get a free opening consultation. Not normally you get that for elective surgeries. You do with Dr. Schaefer. And he also combines experience gained from nearly 2 decades in practice, 8 years in advanced training to achieve beautiful, transformative results for his patients. As a board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Schaefer's goal is to exceed expectations while being dedicated to safety before, during, and after the procedure. Go online at SchaeferPlasticSurge.com. That's SchaeferPlasticSurg.com or 205-278-7969. For more information and located on Highway 280 across from Grandview Hospital.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently, and our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
We all want to create a product or service that's going to change the marketplace. Jeremy and Gina Miller have done it with LocalRealty.com. LocalRealty.com, they've saved sellers over $600,000 in listing fees just in the last 2 years alone. How do they do it? The full-service flat listing fee of $2,900, saving you thousands. 5-star ratings on Zillow with over 400 testimonials. Sold over 1,000 plus homes in the Birmingham metro area since 2016. Go online at LocalRealty.com or give them a call at 205-564-3200. That's 564-3200 for Local Realty.
When you go to turn on the lights, you expect them to work. Our team at Alabama Power does too. But sometimes, extreme weather and events test our system. Knowing we're out there making repairs helps, but answers are what you deserve. So, we're rolling out new tools to keep you informed, especially during storms. Visit Alabama Power's new outage map to see outages in your area and get updates on repair times. And sign up to get personalized outage alerts on your phone or computer for free. Learn more at alabamapower.com/alerts.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for your high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan. Letter C, letter O.
Avoid those emotional decisions.
Oh, I think it's tricky. I think there's a temptation, and you've got to resist this, like by players and coaches both. Sometimes there's a temptation to try to do too much, and you got to, focus on your job, have the discipline to focus on your job, and don't try to do too much, because if you try to do too much, then it just evolves into street ball. You're just like calling random plays, and the guy's just trying to anticipate, where the ball's going, just running a variety of directions on both sides of the ball, and everybody's just guessing, It's just like when you were, a kid out in the cul-de-sac or the backyard or in the vacant lot, and so you try to have it a little more precise and controlled than that.
All right, Mike Leach, and it's still funny to think he's not funny, but it's weird to say Mike Leach at Mississippi State and the Alabama will be facing against that offense coming up this weekend. And, look, they haven't ran the ball well at all. They've got a pretty good intermediate passing game. They can hit some deep shots, and defense has not played well. So, I mean, it's, again, it will be a test, but really of Alabama getting back to being Alabama again and playing where Coach Saban wants to be hopefully an attention getter this past game against A&M was definitely, I know it was. So, I love listening to the guy. I mean, Mike Leach, he says it as plainly
he's
the
great.
common guy. Oh, he's great.
What do you think?
Analogies.
Would he have cut the media off? He would have probably gotten the kid off the building.
Yeah, and probably
brought him
congratulated
down there and said, hey, if you're that good, why don't you just watch right beside me? You can just watch all the practice. Go report what you want.
Lars, would you have been that guy?
No, I'm not that industrious, unfortunately. I'm not that good of a reporter. But you know, I do want to ask Chris, like, if do you give Mississippi State a puncher's chance against Alabama this week, or you think Alabama just comes out and comes some really good?
I think Alabama is going to be pretty well motivated. I'll put it that way. Yeah, you know, I'm not a gambling person. What's the line on this? 17? I think I'd.
Is that all?
I think that's about
Alabama. Yeah, I think I'm giving the point.
The odds makers don't know Nick Saban very well, do they?
Not this year. My
Is it
goodness.
17?
It's every year, every week, I'm like looking at the line, going, "What are they thinking?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would have taken Alabama and Texas A&M too. So that shows you what I know.
I did. Of course, I did.
Oh, look, Lars speaks the truth now.
Yeah.
So how much? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I lose. Like, you know, I always tell my friends, do the opposite of what I do, and you will like make out really, really well. But Jay, what is your expectation for Alabama on Saturday?
I think the biggest thing is to hopefully they'll come out and try to establish the run, because I don't think they can stop the run, number one, and Brian Robinson get him back on track and get some of the other running backs that need experience, some more reps in the game type stuff. You know, an offensive line just correct some of the mistakes that they made throughout the game against A&M. So I think there's a lot to be corrected, but it needs to be done not only in practice but in game situations, and this will be a great opportunity for that to happen. Defensively, got to play better up front as well. As far as pass rush, you're going to get a lot of passes, a lot of the short game. He's going to try to get the ball out quick. But I really think this is like the Ole Miss game, Matt and Chris, that Henry To'oTo'o, this is the type of offense that he's designed for. It's the offenses like A&M and some others where they're going downhill at him, where it becomes a little bit tough. He tries to run around blocks at times instead of really just playing that position of that gap. So I think this weekend we'll see him kind of do some really good stuff like what we saw against Ole Miss.
It's a good game offensively for Alabama to tune up on that side of the football, because Mississippi State is just not a real good defensive team. So I think they come out, they establish a run, then they establish a pretty comfortable lead. And quite honestly, I don't want to say it's practice, but I think at that point you try and work on the things that failed, or how you failed, when you failed, who failed in the A&M game. And I think once Saban gets control of the game, he'll do that. Yeah.
How did Mississippi State
What's that, Lars?
How did Mississippi State beat Texas A&M?
I mean, you know, that still baffles me. But Leach did say, he said, look, you know, this week he's talked about, hey, they're a good team. You know, there shouldn't be 30 more teams in front of them. We've heard that comment from them as well. The Bulldogs averaging 28 points per game, and what have they been? Scored 35, 24, 29, 25, and 26. In those games against SEC, ACC, couple of G5 schools as well. So we'll, you know, you look at the that matchup. Let me ask you this, Chris. How does that give Mississippi State more confidence going into this game than they would have by knowing the fact that they beat A&M, and they can look at that game and go, hey, we beat those guys. They got beat. They actually struggled at times against them. I mean, how much do you think the coaches are playing that into their mind, in their heads throughout the week in order to try to help them as far as going into this game? I guess an Alabama team that wants not revenge against them, but wants revenge against their pride, or for their pride, and playing the game the way they want to play it.
I'm going to guess that it might have until they turned on the game film. And then they started looking at the team that closely. You know, if I'm Mississippi State, I think I'm throwing on every single down. Maybe no, I'm going to run the ball like once a quarter, just to try to keep them just a touch, you know, honest. I think they're going to throw like crazy, because that's the only way they can move the ball. And I just think that they're going to struggle big time against this defense. I think Alabama's going to be geared up for this.
Jay,
am I reading this right? 57 attempts per game. That's the average they've had.
It doesn't surprise me, does it? You?
It doesn't surprise me, but still, that number seems mean, 48 seemed high.
It's hard to believe anybody in the SEC could do that. But if anybody could do it, it'd be Leach. But, he's a gambler.
Well,
he'll win at Kyle Field, and then he'll come home and get his butt handed to him by Alabama.
And Will Rogers, Lars, is completing 76% of those passes.
He's a good quarterback.
He never met a pass in line.
Yeah. And Jay, I want to try to respond to our the comments that people are posting on BamaInsider who are watching us as much as possible. And LW said that Henry To'oTo'o basically he doesn't shed blocks well. Do you agree with that assessment, Jay?
Yeah, I think, and also I think he tries to run around them at times. But also one thing I've heard from coaches, players is that number one, he's very talented. He can fly around the field, one of the fastest guys on the team. The other thing is that a lot of times with that speed and that he reads it pretty quickly. He's a smart guy. That he's intelligent. He sees formations. He recognizes it. Maybe he's getting there a little bit too fast and just needs to slow things down just a bit, not try to run to where he thinks the ball carrier. He's making reads too with the offensive line. I mean, I watched him tonight. One time, I think the guard pulled out, and I think he felt like he needed to get to a certain spot. And instead of just being more patient with it, and what happened, you got the cutback and they got a big gain on it. So yeah, he's not was playing off the blocks or trying to run around. I think more of that is what's causing some of the issues and the holes. And we've seen that before with Alabama linebackers that have done it. And it's just going to take him some time to trust the guys up front, and they've got to be better at taking on double teams so that he can run and be the athlete and get to his gap and his responsibilities. Does that answer your question? To the person.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, thanks for the post, and more people
most definitely
post away.
Yeah, and so Chris, just I want to wrap a bow on the Texas A&M game. Right, we've been talking about it now for a long time. What was the key moment or key moments for you in the A&M game as you sort of went back and analyzed it?
Ooh. There were so many. Honestly, I don't think if the kick return for a touchdown happens, I think Alabama wins that game. So I'm going to say that was just a bad lapse, and they had all the momentum going. They were doing the things that they needed to do. It's that one touchdown was just too much to overcome.
Yeah, and man, they got the momentum back after that block punt.
Just crazy.
That next, if the ball goes in the end zone or through the end zone and doesn't return it, there's so many. And guys also, in their lanes on that coverage. Looking at Will Rogers, some of the other numbers for him through first 5 games this season: 14 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. He is right now averaging 8.66 yards per completion, which again we talked about the dump downs, the short passes. Where Bryce is at 12.7 yards per completion. Mac Jones last year was at 14.5 yards per completion. That's almost 2.5 more yards more than what Bryce is at, almost right at 2 yards more than Bryce right now as far as the averages. So a little bit more deep balls down the field, taking some shots. I think that can happen off the play action if they get the run started early against Mississippi State. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll come back and continue live from AVX. Before we do that, I want to tell you about Local Realty. And you guys have heard me talk about it. You've seen Jeremy and Gina Miller come in live in studio, even here now on our YouTube channel, BamaInsider.com. And, with them, it's all about team. It's all about family. But more importantly, they know that probably buying a house or the house that you're in, that maybe your largest investment, you've poured a ton of equity into that home. By doing that, they want you to be able to get the most out of it on the sell side. When they're selling the home for you, they charge a flat fee. It's $2,900 flat fee up to a $500,000 listing. So $2,900, that's going to save you thousands, not tens of thousands of dollars when it comes to selling your home. Really, like, it's going to make you money. And they want to help you do that, not compromising any service. You get the best service, the best people. They're here locally. They're expanding North Alabama and South Alabama as well. Check them out for yourself. LocalRealtyFlatFee.com. LocalRealtyFlatFee.com for more information on Local Realty.
Another very industrious student ended up in the locker room getting his picture taken with Jimbo. That story's coming up.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service, they've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, a tune-up, whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable, they're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website, TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
Everybody loves Taco Casa. Everything we do in our store, we prepare in our store. We hand cut all of our tomatoes. We block and shred our own cheese here in the store. So we still hand cut our chips, our sopapillas, our taco shells, our chimalupa bowls. Our chili takes about 4 to 6 hours to make every single day. The goal in that is to provide the freshest, best quality to our customers. So we just look at it as, hey, basically, we're your kitchen. You're just coming to eat in your kitchen. Taco Casa, under the biggest cactus in town.
But we have a truck leaving with a big order on Tuesday.
Tina's floor manager retired, leaving her tortilla factory flat out.
What do you mean she's on a silent retreat?
She must fill the role and all those orders.
I'm gonna oversee production.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Schedule virtual interviews and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Whether you just found it or lived there for years, you'll never forget that feeling. It was something that made you realize this house would become your home. And since there's no place like it, it deserves protection just as special. So talk to a real person, not a website. Call your Allstate agent, Andrew Kniffer, today at 205-722-9201 or find us on Facebook, Andrew Kniffer Agency. Once again, you can reach us at 205-722-9201. Allstate, are you in good hands?
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code TOOL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TOOL for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TOOL.
Don't miss USA's new shoppable live competition series. Entrepreneurs pitch new products that you can buy live. And whoever sells the most gets a chance at a life-changing deal with one of America's biggest retail giants. Shop live and decide whose dreams come true on America's Big Deal, a shoppable live competition series. Live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on USA Network.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very warm afternoon. The sky partly to mostly sunny. The high today in the upper 80s at 88. For tonight, mostly fair with the low at 64. Tomorrow, partially sunny and warm during the day, then a chance of rain showers tomorrow night. The high at 87. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 80 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
All right, welcome back in as we continue our number one live from AVX Audio Video Excellence. Again, Lars down in Lincoln, Nebraska. We got Chris Walsh down at Tide 100.9 FM, our flagship station out of Tuscaloosa, BamaInsider.com. Matt Coulter in studio. Matt, you went to break, had a little tease for us, so give us the answer to it, or do we got to guess it?
Well, no, but it's just another very industrious student. You guys all know Mark Heim, right? Mm-hmm. Lars, Mark wrote a great article about your Dabo book, right? But He wrote an article this morning, literally right before noon, right before we went on the air, about a kid named Alex Sunderland, a 22-year-old student at UTSA. He was tailgating for the Alabama-Texas A&M game. While walking to the stadium, he stumbles across a VIP pass just laying there on the ground. This is a great story. I urge you to go to AL.com and read it, but I'm going to give you the very, very short version of this. VIP pass, he says they waved him right through. They didn't scan it. They didn't look at him. He ends up sitting with all of the recruits that are there for the game. He starts posing as a recruited kicker, but he's very fluid. This is just great. He's very fluid in Spanish. So he posed as a Spanish kicker being recruited by Jimbo Fisher in Texas A&M. And whenever somebody questioned him something that made him uncomfortable or might give him away, he would speak Spanish. And he got away with it after the game. He ended up in the locker room and had his picture made as a recruit with Jimbo Fisher.
That is amazing. Lars, I think you're muted out because
I'm sorry. Mark, yes, he did a very nice review of Dabo's World, and we had a really nice chat. But Matt, that is such a terrific story, and that is what enterprise journalism is all about. It is uncovering those gems. And Chris, you can comment on that as well.
I didn't know about that one. That's a good story. I don't think I could get away with that nowadays.
He just posted it an hour ago. I'm sorry, Chris. What was that? I stepped on you.
I said I don't think I could get away with that now.
Yeah. He sure did. He had everybody fooled.
But
he got a picture with Jimbo Fisher after the first assistant to beat Saban, and then also got Seth Small.
Oh,
a picture with the kicker who made the kick.
Yes,
and,
that's true.
The mom was right there behind.
And he also recorded it all on TikTok. If you want to go to that, I don't do TikTok, but if you want to watch, he recorded it.
Don't ever start; you'll get addicted to it.
This kid's smart. Yeah, my kids are evidence of that.
All right, Lars Anderson, Nebraska. He's in Lincoln. He'll be back with us tomorrow, and then also we got Chris Walsh down at BamaInsider.com. We'll find out more from him. Kind of some of the covers, things they'll be doing this weekend, covering the games, and they're not just football; they cover all Crimson Tide sports. We'll get into that as well. Matt Coulter in the studio. I'm Jay Barker, and we'll get to hour number 2. Stay with us as we'll be back very soon.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Achieving your personal best often comes down to how you feel. And when it comes to the right shoes, nothing feels better than New Balance. The fit specialists at the New Balance Birmingham store conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot size, shape, and gait, determining the best New Balance shoes for you. Experience the difference of custom fit today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
I'm excited to tell you about our newest sponsor here on the Jay Barker Radio Network. They pioneered the chicken finger box and the chicken finger restaurants. That's Guthrie's. Guthrie's recipes and process are often imitated, but never duplicated. Look, their sauce is probably the most copied sauce of all sauces all time. And I've known this family since my days down in Tuscaloosa, and they came over, and man, I tell you, it's nostalgic even today to see my kids going to that same Guthrie's. And great family, do so much for the community, but more importantly, provide the best when it comes to chicken fingers. Get out to Guthrie's today. I want to tell you about my good friends at Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker, and look, Ken Needham has done a terrific job. Local company, 205-980-1505 is their number. That's 980-1505. Again, local, you can speak with the same team every time you give them a call. Full line of products from auto, home, boat, life. You'll trust them. They have a great deal as far as the relationships they build with their customers and 20 years with the same company and industry. Custom approach for your insurance needs. Give them a call, 980-1505. That is Southern Assurance Group.
Hi, Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269.
Whether it's for lunch or dinner, head out to the Cajun Steamer. It's a New Orleans-style joint that serves authentic Cajun and Creole food, cold beer, and great drinks. They are known for their wide array of Cajun classics and original creations prepared in an authentic fashion. This Louisiana kitchen can have you slapping the table for more. Stop by the Cajun Steamer and sign up for your Alabama, LSU, or Auburn fan card. Eat with the Cajun Steamer while your team is on TV and use your fan card to receive a 15% discount on your entire meal. With locations in Hoover, Trustful, Huntsville, and Franklin, Tennessee, they've got you covered. Head out today to the Cajun Steamer.
It's Antonio Langham here to tell you about the easiest way to buy your tickets to your next high school game. Have you ever had to wait in line to buy a high school ticket or stop to get cash on the way to the game? There has to be a better way. There is. It's called GoFan. Check out GoFan.co the next time you need a ticket for a high school game. GoFan is easy, fast, and completely secure. You can buy tickets directly from your phone and just show the ticket at the gate. Download the GoFan app or visit GoFan.co now. That's GoFan.co.
Birmingham's best Mexican restaurant for over 20 years and counting. That's La Paz Restaurant in Crestline Village and Mount Laurel. They've got a great staff. Its delicious menu, award-winning cheese dip, and margaritas and vibrant atmosphere have helped to make La Paz a local favorite. Blue corn nachos, Texas barbecue quesadillas, steak and blue quesadillas, Baja fish tacos, signature fajitas, and much, much more. So head over to La Paz today. If you want a great lunch or a great dinner, you'll find all that at La Paz, Crestline, and Mount Laurel for lunch or dinner.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Touchdown. That championship trophy is headed back to Tuscaloosa. Now 15 dominating with this defense. Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. Oh, love that. You saw the Gatorade shower this time. I love it. Clippers wide open. Tide rolling again. Alabama again, the champions of college football. The loser kicker and will not be caught. Touchdown, great. Alabama back on top. Guys to the end zone. Touchdown. Alabama wins. The Crimson Tide will not be denied. Devontae Smith cannot be stopped. Saban with his 7th national championship. National championship number 18. 13 in all. Absolute perfection.
Jay Barker led the Crimson Tide to a national championship in 1992. Winner of the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and a finalist in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Voted the SEC Player of the Year. Drafted by the Green Bay Packers, seeing time with the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. The winningest quarterback in Alabama history with the record of 35-2-1. Member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame. Jay Barker brings that same championship quality and football expertise to his own radio network and show. Joining him is University of Alabama professor Lars Anderson, who is also a New York Times best-selling author and a 20-year veteran of Sports Illustrated. Live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham, The Jay Barker Show.
Well, I think that what it means, very simply, is sometimes the best lessons you learn are when you do have failings. And you can always learn more when you don't do something exactly right. And it's human nature to be more willing to learn when things don't go right. So I think you don't want to waste the opportunity that when you did things that weren't successful, how could I improve on those things that I become a better player, my performance is better, it helps the team more. So when I say don't waste a failing, it's not getting frustrated with the fact that you failed. It's your response to the failure and how you can sort of correct it and do it better the next time.
Well, look, I knew we were playing a good team. I know they lost 2 games, but they have a good defense. They've got good players. Tight end's a really good player. A couple of the running backs are really good players. Got good receivers. Got a really good defense. So we were playing a really good team. So I thought we would have a really tough game here. So when you say this is unpredictable, it's because a lot of people assume that things are going to happen, but really it's about what you do when you play the game. So, I always tell our players, it's all about what we do. And we have to do things very well to play against good teams to have a chance to win. So, it's disappointing, very disappointing. It's my responsibility to get people to do things in a more positive way so that we can go out there and execute with more consistency.
Well, I think that, players have to remember how they feel when they don't have success. And I think they got to remember how that feels. And then I also think that they have to think about, well, how did what we did sort of contribute to this feeling that I have? And then what am I willing to do to fix it? Basically is, the message. So, and when I say, how do we respond to this? That's what I'm talking about. How do you respond to the feeling that you had when you didn't have success? And what are you willing to do to fix it?
All right, welcome back in. And again, how to value loss, how to value failing. And as Nick Saban was talking about in his press conference there and talking about their matchup coming up this weekend and some things that they can do to get better as a team. Don't forget, we're presented by Topgolf of Birmingham. Get out, see Mark Grenier, all the great folks there at Topgolf. You'll absolutely love it. We call it the bowling of this generation. Great food, great fun, great drinks. You're going to have a great time at Topgolf of Birmingham. Also, we're driven by Sunny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Oxford, Anderson. Go see Tony Russell and all the great folks at Sunny King Ford. All right, tonight you got Navy at Memphis at 6:30 on ESPN, and Georgia Southern at South Alabama is 6:30 p.m. That's going to be on ESPNU. Tomorrow night you got the Clemson at Syracuse. Remember that matchup a few years back, and Syracuse beat Clemson, and Dabo and his coaching staff had to come in for the 25th reunion. Gosh, and I can't believe it's on 30 coming up. So they got beat that night before.
You're trying to catch me, aren't you?
I know. Gosh, crazy. But any comments from what Coach Saban had to say about valuing a loss, valuing defeat and failure, that you got to figure out ways to use that in order to improve not only personally but as a team?
That's true in every flipping walk of life.
Yeah.
Whether you're a sportscaster, sports writer, NFL quarterback, entrepreneur with Bama Central. It immediately reminded of something that Jim Wells, the Alabama baseball coach, said once. He took Alabama's teams to 3 World Series, and he lost. I wish I could remember the exact, but he lost one in the finals. And his team immediately turned, can't remember, and went back into the locker room.
Yeah.
He said, you stand right here in this dugout. You watch them celebrate. I want you to remember that moment so that you don't ever repeat it again.
Yeah.
Been there. So it's a life lesson.
Yeah.
And yesterday, Antonio Langham said the biggest play of Alabama's football season so far is what happened to Malachi Moore.
Mm-hmm.
He said that will build more in practice. And remember what he said about memorizing as opposed to learning.
Right.
So he thought that was the most important play. And good point. Learn from your failures. Nick he's not the best college football coach of all time for nothing.
Yeah.
He gets it. Doesn't he, Lars?
No, I just wanted to say, yes, learn from your failures. And I wanted to ask you guys, just your own personal experience, what are your greatest failures? And I'll start just professionally. Okay. When I started at Sports Illustrated, I was 23 years old, thought I was a hotshot young writer. And I penned my first piece on a female referee, basketball referee, who's trying to make it to the NBA, and she's sort of in like the mid-level of professional basketball. And the piece got completely rewritten. I mean, 100%. And when it comes out, I was sort of heartbroken. My dad calls me, and that's when he was still alive. And he tells me that the piece was terribly average. And I can't tell you how much I'd learned from that experience, is that I need to start paying attention to the people who are doing this at a very high level, to the writers and the reporters who are doing this at a high level, and not think that I know everything. So I learned an immense amount from that huge professional failure. And it took me a while to overcome that, because that fostered a perception within the walls of Sports Illustrated that I wasn't ready for the big leagues. And it took a while, again, to overcome that. But I learned an immense amount. Matt, I'll go to you. You're a
Wow.
reflective guy. How about you? Your biggest professional failure?
How long is this show?
Exactly. I've got like a million going through my mind right now.
I do
Not
remember.
yours, mine.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Not yours. I said, got a million going through my mind. Not yours, mine.
You brought up your dad, and we all had really incredible dads. I would assume Chris did, the way he acts and polite and professional as he is. But I was at a real crossroads in my life, and I thought I had really, really messed up. I can't go into great details because I might get a call from an attorney later. But I really felt like I had been wrong. And the situation is, and I'm going to draw right back to this, and I want to get Chris and Jay to share their thoughts on this too. But I thought I'd failed. I didn't know if I had. Anyway, I did exactly what I picked up the phone. Actually, I went and visited my dad, and he said, basically, you know what Henry Blankham said?
Yeah.
And he said, that's what you need to do. And I did, and I never looked back. Fathers pointing out your failures or your successes. I know you guys, I know you were really close to your dad, and you lost him very early. But boy, you're always searching. I'm 64 years old, and my dad's not with me anymore, but I always searching for that approval.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think, Lars and I've talked about this many times, because, both Lars lost his dad, relatively young as well. And, the things that you think, Lars, I think back on, and I'm looking at you over here. I should be looking at the camera, but you're on my screen here because I want to see your face. But just, the failure, if you don't fail in life at some point, and you should a bunch, then you're really not trying. You're really not living life. You're not experiencing things. So I think the failures are where, I know it's, for me, is where I've learned the most in my, whether it's been professional, whether it's been personal, whether it's been, and I have drawn back on whether it's things my dad told me a long time ago and they're still relevant today. The word is so, as important to me to get to
absolutely,
get the right instructions, and then friends and teammates and like our show and stuff. When you're walking through things, I think that's where, that I think you expand so much as a person, and the people around you. So, there have been many, but you get through them, and you always realize that you get up the next day and the sun's going to come up, and you can fight another day. And Chris, any of your thoughts on that?
They're professional goofs. I'll give you one that's just real quick from very early in my career. I don't even think it was full time, but it made the point resonated. I did a feature on a local swimmer, and I screwed up the kid's name. I think it was his last name. Parents called and complained to my sports editor, and he took me in a room and was like, "You can never, ever, ever screw up somebody's name." And we ran the story again so that they could have a keepsake. But there was a tagline at the bottom of it. There was a mistake in this story, and it was incredibly embarrassing. And lesson learned. You gotta, and mistakes are going to happen, and I understand that. And especially nowadays, because, a lot of people don't realize this, just about everything you see online, there are no editors anymore. So,
right.
We make a very serious point. If there's something wrong, we're gonna get it right. But different day, different
We
age.
did a with Tony Curry now. One time we did a segment on a professional wrestler, WWE at that time, or WWF, I guess it was. And Wikipedia had just come out, and so there was all these things that they said about him that were not true, but there was, Tony Curry, so he took them and we ran with them, and kind of find out none of them were true. And we felt so bad about it the next day because we had taken calls on it, and this guy's come out of the all this stuff, and it was crazy. But good question, Lars. I like that. Everybody kind of
Jay, don't you think? I mean, there's this is what bothers me when people around the country say that Nick Saban, never says anything at press conferences, and yes, we have heard him say, "Learn from your failures," but there's something a little bit more profound embedded within that. And I mean, look, all of us just reflected upon it, right? And how, for me personally, biggest professional failures turn into the biggest professional advancements, typically. And even earlier in the show, we played a clip from Coach Saban when he talked about how hard it is to blow up a balloon. And I've never heard him use that metaphor before.
I've never either. I started laughing. I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
I mean, Chris, did you ever hear that metaphor before from Coach Saban?
I don't think so. But to kind of tie into that, today our Throwback Thursday on Bama Central is 15 years ago. Sylvester Croom beat Mike Shula, and that was kind of the decisive moment. When Mal Moore said we have to make a change, and a lot of people pointed to that and say, "Wow, that's a low point for the program." Well, they turn around and hire Nick Saban. Boom.
Yeah, man, what a difference it would have been. And look,
wow.
And a lot of people have different views about Mike Shula. I like Mike Shula a ton, and we knew him, Matt, as a person. I knew him as a player, getting to know him after I got done, and he walked into such a hard situation, lack of scholarships, just where the program was at that time, and for him to take that chance and to become a head coach, which I think he felt more comfortable as a coordinator, as an assistant, than he did as a head coach. But man, he, people may think different things. I always thought the world of him and thought that he really took us through a challenging time at that point in time.
He did, and he was just ill prepared. I think if you'd hired him 5 years later, it might have been a totally different story. I felt for him. I mean, we actually went to school at the same time, and just I felt for him personally. That's tough.
I give Mike a lot of credit. He kept the program afloat.
I agree. I totally agree. When people start kind of getting on him or thinking that was, the worst years of Alabama, I'm like, man, y'all just understand. There's been a lot worse than that.
Ears Whitworth. You ever heard of him?
So I want to remind, we went down to Rock and Roll Sushi 2 days ago and just had a blast. And Lauren and all the great folks there, we told you so the day, and they want us to keep talking about it during the time that we talk about them. Not only great food, amplified dining experience. I think you and your wife are going there tonight,
We're going tonight, yeah.
And Rock and Roll Sushi, you got the sushi, the rolls you love, you got the music you love, rock and roll, and you do it with the people that you love. That's kind of their amplified dining experience, what they want you to get out of it. They're out of Mobile, Alabama, where they started in a modest 1,000 square foot space, now almost 50 locations throughout the Southeast, and they continue to grow. It's the biggest hit in the restaurant business. In the latest location, downtown Birmingham, it's on 5th Avenue South and Richard Arrington Boulevard. So go by, check them out. But Lauren want me to say they need servers, they need dishwashers, they need help. They've got all this expansion happening, and they need employees that want to make. And she told me the number. I don't know I can say it publicly, but it's a lot better than anybody I've ever known making in the restaurant business. So check it out and see whether or not you like that with Rock and Roll Sushi.
On that note, when we went 3 weeks ago, I couldn't believe the people they had and still able to pay so much attention. And they were spinning all these kind of places. They did a great job, but go inquire about working with them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Rock and Roll Sushi, again, the biggest hit in the restaurant business. All right, more on Alabama, Mississippi State coming up this weekend, and we'll look at some other SEC matchups as well as some of the national ones with implications. And hear what Bama Central's got coming up as well from Chris Walsh and all the great guys over there. They do a terrific job at BamaCentral.com. Stay with us. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide football.
Alabama touchdown.
Only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Are you looking for a career change or seeking employment? Taylor Hardin Secure Medical Facility will be hosting an on-site career fair for mental health workers on Thursday, October 14th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. located on 1301 Jack Warner Parkway, Northeast, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 35404. Qualified applicants must have a high school diploma or GED. Equal employment opportunity. It is the policy of Taylor Hardin to provide equal employment opportunities for all qualified persons, regardless of race, religion, sex, national origin, age, sexual orientation, or disability.
Whether you just found it or lived there for years, you'll never forget that feeling. It was something that made you realize this house would become your home. And since there's no place like it, it deserves protection just as special. So talk to a real person, not a website. Call your Allstate agent, Andrew Kniffer, today at 205-722-9201 or find us on Facebook, Andrew Kniffer Agency. Once again, you can reach us at 205-722-9201. Allstate, are you in good hands?
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Don't miss USA's new shoppable live competition series. Entrepreneurs pitch new products that you can buy live. And whoever sells the most gets a chance at a life-changing deal with one of America's biggest retail giants. Shop live and decide whose dreams come true on America's Big Deal, a shoppable live competition series. Live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on USA Network.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code WIN for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WIN.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very warm afternoon. The sky partly to mostly sunny. The high today in the upper 80s at 88. For tonight, mostly fair with the low at 64. Tomorrow, partially sunny and warm during the day, then a chance of rain showers tomorrow night, the high at 87. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 82 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
I've always got competitive fire because I respect, what it takes to win. I respect what it takes to prepare to win. And I try to do it every week. And I try to get the players to respond to it, each and every week so that they have the best chance to create value for themselves when they go out and play. And when players don't play well, they don't create value for themselves and they don't create value for the team. And, we made too many mental errors, didn't tackle well early in the game. And I think all that starts with your mindset in terms of the intensity that you have, the focus that you need to be able to go out there and compete against good players in tough environments. That's as difficult a competitive situation as, you're going to be in. And what defines, great competitors is people who can be their best when their best is needed. And I think people evaluate that and look at that. So that's something that I'm always trying to help the players have the best opportunity to do. Now, I have pride in performance too, not just for the defense, but for our whole team. And it's very upsetting to me when the team doesn't play well, because I feel like it's my responsibility and I should be affecting people. I'm talking about players and coaches and everybody in the organization in a way that, our team is well prepared so that they can go out there and play well. So that's, I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to that. And it's really, really, tough when you don't feel like you got things done the way you'd like for them to be done.
Finding value, and he talked about that a lot this week. And how do you find value in your talent, your gifts, things you do? How can you find talent or value in the failure? How can you find a value in the loss? And he's trying to capture as much as that value, not only for the team, but also for himself. As he said, he's a competitor, wants to be out there, wants to be winning, and not just every game, but every snap. And he always talks about the process as well. That was Nick Saban, his presser, talking about the value of those things. And to me, Chris, I'll go to you at BamaInsider.com. And after I ask the question, also tell everybody how they can get to your guys' stuff and some of the things you'll be doing this weekend as far as covering for the Mississippi State game. But I feel like Nick Saban, this is where these are his type of moment. He likes in this moment where he can teach, he can instruct. Not that you ever want to lose a game, but if you're going to lose it now at this time of the year. You lose it during a time when a lot of teams in the West have 2 losses, and so you got a chance to get back to Atlanta and probably face off against Georgia for the SEC title game. But the biggest thing, just sitting at number 5. You're just right outside the top 4. So now they're not the hunted. They're an inexperienced team. They're learning the chemistry, all that stuff. Now they're hunting again. And I think this is where Coach Saban likes losses, but I think he loves these moments, and I think he's really good at it.
I think that's where he's at his best. You look at all the years Alabama was like preseason number 1, almost never wins the national championship. Starts off lower than preseason number 1, and that's when they usually win. And I always kind of half joke, although there's definitely a huge element of truth in it, is the best games for Alabama in general are when they win, but things don't go well, and Saban can turn around and harp on the players, and keep them motivated. But I don't think anybody reacts better to setbacks or loss better than Saban in college football. And when was the last time Alabama lost 2 in a row? Been a long time now.
Exactly. Yeah, it has. Lars, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you got to go back to Nick's first year when I think that's the last time they lost 2 in a row. I'm not even sure if they lost 2 in a row that year. I don't know if he's ever lost 2 in a row, frankly. While being the head coach of Alabama, I do want to steer this in a just slightly different direction, and because Jay and Matt, you guys are both close with Dabo Swinney and his family, and I was on a radio show yesterday talking about Dabo's World, right? The book I just wrote that came out on Dabo Swinney in Charleston, South Carolina, and I think half of the interview was spent on debating the question of whether or not Dabo is going to replace Nick Saban at Alabama. There is this huge fear among Clemson fans that Dabo's going to leave. And Jay, you've been consistent in your answer, and I kind of just parroted what you have told me over the years, and I'll let you sort of discuss that. But Matt, let's start with you. You're close with the family. You helped me with the book. What is your assessment of whether or not Dabo would replace Nick Saban?
I'll use your title of the book, Dabo's World. Dabo's World is in Clemson, and that's where he'll stay. That's my personal opinion. And it's not like I picked up the phone and called him this morning. That's just he rebuilt. he rebuilt Clemson and turned them into a national championship program. And I think he's very, very proud of the fact that he was able to do that at Clemson. And I don't think he's going to give it up and go back down. And by the way, I don't see Saban going anywhere for at least 5 years. Do y'all?
Oh, at least. I mean,
at least.
I really think, and I've told people this, that he may try to coach to 80. I mean, it's going to be just about his health. His health is great right now. I mean, he's 10 years, looks 10 years younger than what he is and always has. I don't know, though. I mean, in 10 years from now or 8 years or 5, whatever that number is, would he want to be the guy that steps in right after him? You know, maybe so. Maybe he's a competitor that wants to do that. Now, I agree with you. My initial thoughts, just talking to a lot of the guys there initially, was that I don't think he'd ever leave. You know, Lars, we talked about that, just with the legacy he's built, the championships he's won. I mean, he's got Dabo's way. It's probably a road, or Dabo's world.
Yeah.
It's all over Clemson, right? So, but I know he's a competitor. I know he walked on at Alabama. He loves the Crimson Tide. And for him to come back and be in the number one spot in that program as the head coach, it's going to lure him. It's going to tempt him, and he's going to have a lot of guys, Lars, around him that are former players that are maybe going to have a little bit in his ear of saying, "Hey, let's go back and win championships at Bama." So we'll see how it kind of plays out over time. But you know, early on, I thought, he'll never leave, but I'm not so sure. I think that draw back home, as Bear once said, "Mama called," right, and he came back to Bama. So we'll see.
Well, Jay, you should have told me that, because that wasn't in the book. No. Look, what we talked about and what we have talked about, and I've talked about with both of you guys, Dabo's life is in Clemson. He raised his kids in Clemson. His home is in Clemson. His family's in Clemson. And yes, whenever it is that Nick decides to retire, Alabama is going to offer the sun and the moon and more money than Dabo could ever count at him. But I personally don't think that he would leave Clemson. One, it's much easier path to make it to the playoffs in the ACC than the SEC, especially if you're in the SEC West. And two, you never want to be the guy who replaces the legend. And I know Dabo is. I mean, look, I think all of us can agree that he is probably the second best coach in all of college football right now. Right? He's got 2 national championships. Relatively young guy. Who knows if he could ever challenge 7 with Saban? But no, I don't think he's going to leave, Jay.
Lars, I know we got to let you go from Lincoln, Nebraska, so appreciate you joining us for the time you could today. Have fun there. We'll see you back. You gonna make it back for the show tomorrow?
Let's hope so. If all the flights go according to plan, I'll be in studio with you tomorrow.
What I thought you flew your plane out there.
Yeah.
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 Hey, can you
have
Langham send his personal jet to come pick me up?
You know, Langham has the first jet he ever bought. I think, you know, Antonio, if you're listening,
yeah,
that's pretty funny.
It is.
Lars,
funny.
Ted says, hey.
All right,
Dog.
thanks, bros.
Got it.
See ya.
Local Realty flat service fee and localrealtyflatfee.com. Check them out. You'll absolutely love Jeremy, Gina Miller. They do a terrific job. Great family, great team, and they're going to save you money when it comes to really making money. When it comes to selling your home on that sell side, they do a flat fee, $2,900 flat fee up to $500,000 listing, goes up a little bit more per $100,000, and just a great company. And they want to see you make the most off of that sell on that sell side. $2,900 flat fee up to a $500,000 listing. Check them out. LocalRealtyFlatFee.com. They got a 5-star rating on Zillow as well, with almost 1,000 testimonials now, and have sold thousands of homes throughout the metro Birmingham area. Now in the northern part of Alabama, they're building out in the southern part as well. They've done a lot of work for friends, family of mine. You'll love this family, these people, this team as they continue to grow. That's Local Realty. Go to localrealtyflatfee.com, localrealtyflatfee.com for more information on Local Realty.
Gators have a special look in store for LSU. That on the other side of this break. This is the Jay Barker Show.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
Hi, it's Jay Barker for AVX, Audio Video Excellence. They are the premier provider for custom audio-visual design and installation in the Southeast. AVX seeks excellence in everything it does, including a superior employee experience. AVX offers employees an industry-leading salary, insurance benefits, and 401k options. AVX technicians also receive the highest level of certification and continue training, making it one of the most awarded and decorated companies in the industry. Career opportunities are available now for technicians in Birmingham and Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Join the AVX team by contacting them at avxinc.com.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. If you're average and you're looking for a new pair of running or walking shoes, I suggest you go to an average shoe store, where they'll sell you a pair of average shoes built for the average person with average size feet. But here's the thing, you're not average. No one is. We all exercise differently. We run differently. We walk differently. And our feet come in all sorts of widths and lengths. That's why at the New Balance Birmingham store, we employ fit specialists who will conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot's size and shape, along with your gait, and then determine the best New Balance shoes custom fit to you. Because New Balance isn't your average shoe, and you're not average either. Experience the difference an unaverage custom fit makes today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Hi, it's Jay Barker for Siebel's in downtown Homewood, and now's the time to get your special place ready. Come in and let Siebel's design your porch with Kingsley Bait Outdoor Furniture and one of their custom swinging beds. For the great room, you're going to need their Carson swivel recliner. Siebel's is the #1 Carson recliner dealer in the country, and Sarah and I, we've got one, and we absolutely love it. Be sure also to check out their famous custom-made beds and bunk beds, built by Siebel's and made up with some of their best linens in town. Their staff can truly put your bed together like no other store. You can also follow Siebel's and shop on Instagram and Facebook. And be sure to call or go by their special store in downtown Homewood. The number is 800-448-1962. That's 800-448-1962. And just for listening, go to Siebel'sCottage.com and order anything you want and type in Jay Barker for a special discount code. That's Jay Barker for a special discount code available only to our listeners for a limited time on the Jay Barker Show. Siebel's in downtown Homewood or online at Siebel'sCottage.com.
Following this summer's Tokyo Olympic Games, the eyes of the world will turn to Birmingham, Alabama, and the World Games 2022. Next July, the world will come together for the South's largest international sporting event since the 96 Centennial Olympic Games. 3,600 athletes will compete for gold in 34 sports, including lacrosse, softball, gymnastics, flag football, and more. Tickets are on sale now. Buy yours at twg2022.com.
I think really, he's done extremely well. He's got great speed. He's a vertical threat on every play. I thought he played really well, last week. I think he had, 7 catches or whatever. Big play touchdown, couple touchdowns, but a big play touchdown on a double move. So he's added a lot. I mean, our receivers have, got to be very consistent in terms of the way we play. I mean, we can't afford to miscommunicate. We can't afford to drop balls. And he's been, a real positive spark for us. He's not available this week. He's out there in pads every day, but he doesn't have it's not safe for him to use his hand yet.
So he's not going to play this week.
All right, Coach saving some more from Miss Presser and LW. I'm looking at right now one of the comments. I think a mixture of Jalen Moody and Henry T would be good. Both have strengths and weaknesses in certain situations. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like BamaInsider.com, and also your comments. We'll throw some up throughout the show. And also, LW, thank you for yours.
Colors
of Florida.
Colors of Florida. They're going to go to Baton Rouge and wear all orange. They did this in 2016, and they won 16-10, so they're going to bring it back in 2021. It's not really a big deal when Florida does something like this. If a team like Alabama or Penn State or Nebraska ever did that, there would be a riot. They'd burn any chimes if Alabama tried to change their uniforms in any small way. But I just wanted to bring that up to just do a round table with you. Is Chris back with us? Let me just ask on air. Do you like the same color pants, same color jersey?
I don't. I never have. And you called the Kentucky Wildcats blueberries the
They
other day.
look like a bunch of blueberries. Now, they don't play like a bunch of blueberries. I mean, they're very good this year.
I guess and I don't know how you are correct, just more traditional. Like I look at, Penn State, Alabama, USC, Michigan, which Michigan's kind of gotten a little bit with their Jordan stuff and all that, a little bit different, but nothing out of the ordinary. I don't know. I like that, the Georgia Southerns of the world, where it's just, even they don't think they put the names on the back of their jerseys. They used to not. So I don't. And Alabama used to not for a long time. But Chris, your take on that? Do you like the? You're going to like the orange on orange?
No. In fact, I hate it. Just to be blunt. But to give you kind of an idea where I'm at all this, like I hate it with like when you watch an NBA game and every single guy has a different color shoes. I don't know why, it just bugs the living daylights out of me. It's honestly, I think everyone should have the same color shoes. I don't think it's asking that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a traditionalist.
Those contracts, man.
Yeah, but still, it's just to me, it's
get
just
the same color
self-serving.
at least, same color scheme.
Yeah, same color's fine. Just get the same color.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I love the Alabama's look. I love the New York Yankees. I like the traditional. Penn State, I think it looks outstanding as well. Just nice, simple. It looks great.
Auburn hadn't changed a whole lot either. And their home blue with that logo on the helmet, that is a great look. But I don't like a mess of Oregon. I mean, come on. What did you say the other day? They've got like 200 uniforms?
It's a ton of combinations. And I think somebody asked Saban about that. Does it hurt recruiting? He goes, we have 3. I think that's what he's, or something, or 2 home and away. Yeah. That was it. That's our combinations. And I mean, they've talked about, they did houndstooth right here, right? That one year.
Yeah.
In the collar. It was celebrating something with Coach Brian.
Was it, let's see, 83?
I tell you what, though, Mal didn't even want black. He hated like the idea.
Yeah, they talked about doing a
like,
black helmet, didn't they?
Yeah. He totally is against doing anything like like black, the black logo and all that stuff. I think it looks great personally, but that's about as far as I go.
Well, I think some institutions believe they need to do that to attract the young kids. If having, what did you say, 77 players on NFL rosters doesn't attract a young kid, I don't think a jersey color is going to make any difference.
And that's still hard to believe. And you cover them each week. You do a segment on the NFL guys from Bama, Chris, there, BamaCentral.com. And we were talking in the break. I mean, 70-something guys were on just the rosters, 53 active with that first. I mean, that's 53. That's an entire team that Alabama's got in the NFL. And I'm not so. I think, what are they, about 9 ahead of the next most in the NFL?
Well, if you include,
who would that be? Ohio State?
I think it's LSU, right?
Oh, could be.
If you include practice squads, guys who are out for the year, it's well over 70, which is just unreal.
Yeah. I can't remember the specific game, but I remember counting 7 players, 3 on one side, 4 on the other, from the University of Alabama in an NFL game, all playing significantly.
Yeah, I did that recently. I was watching one of the games, and buddy of mine said, how many guys are playing? I said 5. And I wrote back, oh, sorry, 6. I mean, 7.
Okay, yeah. And then you look at the practice squad and you
Yeah.
go, oh, wow, I forgot about those guys.
I kept seeing him. Oh, I forgot he's on there. I forgot he got traded there, whatever. But yeah, Chris, y'all do a great job, though, covering Bama and the NFL. Kind of tell the listeners more about BamaCentral.com. It's not just about football. Y'all cover all sports and do a terrific job at it.
Thank you. Yeah, we're Bama Central. We're your Sports Illustrated home for all things Crimson Tide. And we do make a really, really strong point of emphasis to cover more than just the specific Crimson Tide football team. I mean, like our cover story today is on softball. You know, they're in the middle of fall practices. And we have an NFL page where we do a tracker every single week, and we have all the stats for every single guy in the NFL that we do. Our Throwback Thursday item today is the 15-year anniversary of Sylvester Croom's win over Mike Shula. But we've got a little bit of everything, and we hope that you come and check us out and like what you see.
Awesome.
What a guy, Sly Croom. One of my favorite people ever.
He and probably there were a lot of people felt like that he was going to at some point maybe get back to Alabama.
I was one of them.
Yeah, I mean when he got to Mississippi State, but that was such a big thing for what all that stood for when he got there and what he was able to do. Woody McCorvey went over there with him and coached him. I think that's where Freddie started, right? Did he start with those guys? Yeah.
Oh, Woody's in Clemson now, isn't he?
No, yeah, I'm saying. Well, he was.
Yeah,
with him
I
then,
understand your question. I believe he was.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Where is Freddie now, by the way?
I'm not sure, to be honest, but I think he's with a pro team.
Yeah, was he an OC somewhere? Chris, do you know?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Where do you know where Freddie Kitchens is? I don't know. He just came up out of the blue. It's a very random question for you, but Jay and I don't know.
Actually, you know what? I don't either. I kind of lost track of him after.
That's what Google's for.
The Cardinals, assistant with the Giants.
Very good.
That makes sense.
You're quicker on the computer than I am.
As of August 2021, 80 Bama players were on NFL rosters with only 2 teams without a former Bama player. That's pretty amazing. Hey, Fully Promoted can help you when it comes to your business. If you're struggling with promotions, marketing, and want to find those unique items and things that people really like to receive and use in today's competitive markets, you got to let your brand stand out to get noticed. And Fully Promoted can help you do that. They offer extensive branding and marketing solutions to get your name in front of your potential customers. They have local experts that specialize putting your logo on apparel, team gear, caps, promotional products, trade show items, and printed materials as well. They also provide access to just samples that you can actually touch and feel, and people there to help you out when it comes to the product selection and also the decoration methods, taking your brand to the next level. So call Fully Promoted today at 205-406-6430 and mention that you heard this ad right here on the Jay Barker Show. You'll get a special offer from them at 205-406-6430. Are you fully promoted?
Jay, as you know, because you did it, your show now has a totally cool, another platform. And in this case, it's through BamaInsider and YouTube. I have a personal declaration concerning that when we come back and wrap up the show.
All right.
You're listening to The Jay Barker Show, live from the AVX studios in downtown Birmingham.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide football.
Alabama touchdown.
Only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Civic Tax Relief basically represented me against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, I didn't owe the IRS anything.
Find out about the Fresh Start program that is now available through Civic Tax Relief. Civic Tax Relief's special tax hotline can help you discover all the relief programs available for free.
I would recommend anyone who has a tax problem to contact Civic Tax Relief.
Just call 800-324-4522.
800-324-4522. Don't wait. Call now. 800-324-4522. 800-324-4522.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
Don't miss USA's new shoppable live competition series. Entrepreneurs pitch new products that you can buy live. And whoever sells the most gets a chance at a life-changing deal with one of America's biggest retail giants. Shop live and decide whose dreams come true on America's Big Deal, a shoppable live competition series. Live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central on USA Network.
Whether you just found it or lived there for years, you'll never forget that feeling. It was something that made you realize this house would become your home. And since there's no place like it, it deserves protection just as special. So talk to a real person, not a website. Call your Allstate agent, Andrew Kniffer, today at 205-722-9201 or find us on Facebook, Andrew Kniffer Agency. Once again, you can reach us at 205-722-9201. Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Under the biggest cactus in town, Taco Casa. Quality is number one. You got to start with a good quality product, but it's got to be at a good value to the customers.
Everything is about quality.
You just can't beat the quality, taste, and value.
And it's because we take pride in providing you with the best.
Good customer service and good food, good quality.
We want to make sure that we give that to them each and every time they come and visit us.
The sense of pride that we have in the quality, the consistency of our food carries over to everything we do in the store. That's Taco Casa.
To remind pet owners that Progressive covers pets on our auto policy at no extra charge, we decided to make a really cute pet-themed radio commercial. Can you hear that, puppy? If you could see this, you would melt. I mean, just the softest fur. Oh, wait, he's trying to open this box now, and oh, the box is filled with kittens. If only there was some way you could see this. What a glaring oversight.
Get coverage for your pets with an auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very warm afternoon. The sky partly to mostly sunny. The high today in the upper 80s at 88. For tonight, mostly fair with the low at 64. Tomorrow, partially sunny and warm during the day, then a chance of rain showers tomorrow night, the high at 87. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 82 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
All right, welcome back in as we finish up hour number 2 here in this Thursday edition. Again, our thanks to Chris Walsh joining us every Thursday from BamaCentral.com. And always great to have him on and get his insights and all the things that they'll be covering throughout the weekend. And we were talking about that earlier, but how big their staff is and how they send 2 guys all these different events and always doing the best they can to cover it for the Crimson Tide Nation. If you're listening to us right now on the radio, you can go online at BamaInsider.com. Also, YouTube channel. Just when you go to YouTube, just put in Alabama Football or Bama Insider, and you'll find us. We'll pop up. Our shows every single day live from noon to 2 o'clock, and then also replayed all throughout eternity. Really, it just lives on the server. And we do some best ofs. We cut some things up and all that. Those guys at Bama Insider do a terrific job, as well as Josh Smith, our producer. So we'll have all that up for you and going. I want to remind you, too, about one of our great sponsors, eTaxBreaks.com, eTaxBreaks.com. Give them a call at 855-659-1231. I've brought this up to you many times. There's other stimulus dollars that are out there outside the PPP loan. And right now, if you had employees and retained them during the COVID-19 pandemic, there's up to $33,000 cash refund per employee available to you, no matter if you had a financial gain or loss. And it's not a loan. You have to pay this thing back at all. It's amazing. They can help you out. And go to eTaxBreaks.com or give them a call at 855-659-1231 for eTaxBreaks.com.
Speaking of Bama Insider and YouTube, I'm going to make this very quick statement. Just because I'm a little bit older doesn't mean I have to dress like my father. This shirt is going into retirement. In fact, I'm going to start a small fire on I looked at the camera a minute ago at our monitors, and I went,
it doesn't look that bad.
I love my dad and respect him. He's my hero, but I don't have to dress like him. So I'm telling you live right here in front of Chris and the whole Jay Barker Nation that Matt will retire this shirt and any other that makes it look like I need assisted living.
You're turning into your dad. Was that insurance commercial?
Those commercials are just fabulous, by the way.
No doubt. All right, Chris, kind of your thoughts about the game this weekend. Let's wrap it up that way with since we got you on, and it kind of gets your prediction and your thoughts about what's going to happen, Alabama, Mississippi State over in Starkville.
It's going to be a whole lot of focus on attention to detail, I think. Alabama's going to try to shove the ball down Mississippi State's throat. Mississippi State's going to throw like crazy to try to counter any way that it can. I do not think this is going to be a very close game.
I agree with you.
Are you with? And
I think it was a wake-up call. I think that, as I said earlier, and Chris and everybody agreed, these are the moments, Matt, where Coach Saban thrives.
Yeah.
I mean, not that he likes to lose, but he loves to remind people or his players the value of winning and that you can't take it for granted. And now to have this loss when it is, they're in a I say you'd much rather be undefeated, but they're in a great position. And all I got to do is win out and still do everything that they wanted to do at the beginning of the year.
One thing that I've observed in his marvelous tenure at the University of Alabama, and he talks about this, is Nick Saban lives to coach. He lives to teach. And this is one of those teaching moments. And when he's been presented situations just like this in the past, he consumes it. And that's the turning point that may lead to Alabama and another national championship. Chris, doesn't Nick Saban just love? He don't want to teach after a loss, but he loves to teach.
Yeah, he definitely does. And I'm sure this has been a really fun week, if you will, for the players. But he's at his best when when he has their full attention and he knows that when the players are zeroed in and know what's in their best interest to pay specific attention to detail and listen to what Saban says in each and every minute, that's when things seem to really progress.
Yeah, and he's been preaching the value of the loss, the value of failure, and how do you take that and make it into something. And we'll see what's happened this week. And again, I think they gave him Sunday off, so get some rest and really to say let's just regroup. And we said earlier, you got to forget the losses and the wins. You got to move to the next opponent, and that's what you concentrate on. That's Mississippi State coming up in Starkville. All right, from Matt Coulter, Jay Barker, and Chris Walsh, Lars Anderson, and Josh Smith, our producer, and all of the guys at BamaInsider.com as well. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition. Join us tomorrow for the Friday edition of the Jay Barker Show live from AVX. Have a great day.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Achieving your personal best often comes down to how you feel. And when it comes to the right shoes, nothing feels better than New Balance. The fit specialists at the New Balance Birmingham store conduct an in-depth analysis of your foot size, shape, and gait, determining the best New Balance shoes for you. Experience the difference of custom fit today at the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, your feet will thank you.
1 in 7 men will face prostate cancer. Nearly 500 new cases are diagnosed every day in the U.S. Traditional treatments can cause erectile dysfunction and urinary incontinence. But now there's a new option, high-intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU.
Men who are really looking for an option that really preserves their urinary and sexual function are great candidates for HIFU treatment.
Preserve your quality of life. Call 866-4-VITURO or visit VituroHealth.com.
I'm excited to tell you about our newest sponsor here on the Jay Barker Radio Network. They pioneered the chicken finger box and the chicken finger restaurant. That's Guthrie's. Guthrie's recipes and process are often imitated, but never duplicated. Look, their sauce is probably the most copied sauce of all sauces all time. And I've known this family since my days down in Tuscaloosa, and they came over, and man, I tell you, it's nostalgic even today to see my kids going to that same Guthrie's. And great family, do so much for the community, but more importantly, provide the best when it comes to chicken fingers. Get out to Guthrie's today. I want to tell you about my good friends at Southern Assurance Group. Hi, it's Jay Barker. And look, Ken Needham has done a terrific job. Local company, 205-980-1505 is their number. That's 980-1505. Again, local, you can speak with the same team every time you give them a call. Full line of products from auto, home, boat, life. You'll trust them. They have a great deal as far as the relationships they build with their customers and 20 years with the same company and industry. Custom approach for your insurance needs. Give them a call, 980-1505. That is Southern Assurance Group.
Hi, it's Jay Barker. I want to tell you about my good friends Craig and Keith at Birmingham Broker. Go online at bhambroker.com. That's bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269. Got 7 kids, man, and we had to sell a lot of cars. And these guys are looking for a lot of inventory. They helped us with all the hassle. No stress for us. They did the process as far as the sales and everything. Handled it all the way through. White glove type service. You'll love it. Again, it's bhambroker.com. Sell your car through bhambroker.com or 205-716-1269.
When you go to turn on the lights, you expect them to work. Our team at Alabama Power does too. But sometimes extreme weather and events test our system. Knowing we're out there making repairs helps, but answers are what you deserve. So we're rolling out new tools to keep you informed, especially during storms. Visit Alabama Power's new outage map to see outages in your area and get updates on repair times. And sign up to get personalized outage alerts on your phone or computer for free. Learn more at alabamapower.com/alerts.
At Schaefer Plastic Surgery, not only they treat you like family, you get a free opening consultation. Not normally you get that for elective surgeries. You do with Dr. Schaefer. And he also combines experience gained from nearly 2 decades in practice, 8 years in advanced training to achieve beautiful, transformative results for his patients. As a board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Schaefer's goal is to exceed expectations while being dedicated to safety before, during, and after the procedure. Go online at SchaeferPlasticSurg.com. That's Schaefer Plastic, SURG.com or 205-278-7969. For more information and located on Highway 280 across from Grandview Hospital. Whether it's for lunch or